So we're very excited. I think it's an incredible project. There's obviously 59 farms that are participating from the various regions. If you have farms within your regions that haven't put their hand up now and aren't part of the 59, they can absolutely join on. I know in Constantia, we've obviously only got a small number of participating farms that are free as on this platform, but all our farms are participating and they're just paying, and we're paying directly for that. So it's not limited to 59. So I'm going to hand over to Adam now, who's going to share his screen and run through the presentation. Okay, thank you, Adam.
Karen, thanks so much. Thank you everybody for joining us. Yeah, we're very, very excited about getting this off the ground, and it's we really appreciate all your time for giving us your time today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. We do have a presentation. So as you all know, we are doing a project with Vinpro in order for them to be able to capture or understand the amount of customers that are visiting the Cape Winelands and the wine estates throughout the Cape. We are a location analytics and proximity marketing company that specializes in physical brick and mortar stores. So you've got your digital companies, you've got companies that allow you to track and monitor and re-engage customers that visit your website. Well, we give physical venues the same capacity or the same ability to be able to understand who's visiting your website, when they were there, how often they come there, what is their dwell times, you know, what areas within a specific venue did people go, and then to engage those customers in real time and re-engage them automatically after the fact as well. So we use a platform called Purple. The platform is compliant with every single data protection law, legislation worldwide, whether it be GDPR, POPI, or anything else for that matter. What would happen is they log in via a branded splash page. That splash page is customized to each venue, so each estate's branding. You can provide them with the ability to log in through one of their favorite social media pages or a customized registration form, or nothing at all for that matter. If you want to just to let people in, you're not interested in collecting email addresses and knowing who specific customers are, you can have a button there that just says connect now. When a customer visits, they only log in once. So that once they've gone through this process of authenticating through their Facebook or registration form, they never have to do that again. Essentially through the Wi-Fi, which is a very elegant, unintrusive way to allow your customers, and these are your customers. This isn't a website where people, you know, happen to be on and you asking them for information, etc. These people are in your environment. They have to, you know, this is a Wi-Fi, Guest Wi-Fi, so they have to be in your space. There's a level of trust there. They're interested in what you got to say. You obviously are promoting the Wi-Fi in the space. So in other words, you letting people know that there is Wi-Fi available, and then the choice is theirs. So it's totally transparent. Your customers log in, they are, would you like to join our mailing list? Would you like to sign up to our wine club, for example? Yes or no? If they say yes, they've opted in. And we actually have a less than a 2% opt-out rate, believe it or not. And then the platform can automatically re-engage those customers. If they opt out of marketing, they still get onto the internet. They still saw that landing page where you might be promoting something, whether it be an event coming up or you know, the fact that you've got an updated menu in the restaurant, or you've got a new, you know, you've won an award for a type of wine that you've just released or something like that. So essentially, you have them. You've got this capital portal. You've got a digital billboard essentially for those 10 seconds while the person's logging into the Wi-Fi to be able to promote and educate, etc. And they then get online. So really the purpose of this slide is just to put your minds at ease in terms of, you know, this is a well-established, trusted brand. Hospitals use it. I mean, there's nothing, and banks, there's nothing more sensitive than medical data and financial data that these companies are doing, and they're fully confident or have faith in Purple to look after that data. So what happens at the moment is your customers come through. You might be having Guest Wi-Fi there, and it's pretty much sort of in the background. You might know who they are. You might have, you know, sign up to our wine club, and you give them a form for them to sign into, etc. So you may be collecting some data, but you have no way of knowing everybody who's coming through your venue. So what our platform does, and again, this is over and above what we do with Vinpro, is that we allow venues to seamlessly, elegantly, safely collect data from their customers where the customer is in full control. So it's their phone, it's their choice. If they don't want to use the Wi-Fi, they don't have to. If they want to use the Wi-Fi and they don't want to opt in, they don't have to. But essentially, they would be informed that there's Wi-Fi. They would be encouraged. We've got some venues who even incentivize the use of Wi-Fi. Our platform is designed to help you educate, reward, and engage you with your customers, gather feedback through surveys which are built into the platform. So if you want to understand how people feel about your brand, improve operational efficiencies, and all this is designed to get to understand your customers, which helps you boost loyalty, increase their lifetime value, increase return visits, increase online spend, increase your online reputation through the reviews that we help boost, and we do that. So okay, so just to reiterate, this is the journey. So we call it the access journey. How does the customers get onto the internet? So on the first visit, they are presented with a landing page where they have to register. The next page would be your compliance page. You can reward customers based on how often they visited the venue or whether they're returning customers. So we are counting people, how often they come back. So on the first visit, do this. On the second visit, do that. On the 10th visit, offer them a complimentary bottle of wine if they come and dine in the restaurant. You might want to send out birthday emails to wish people a happy birthday on their birthday, and that can all be automated. We understand, we know what language they've got. So whatever language their phone is set to. So you could have a foreign tourist visiting one of your estates, and because we know what language they are, we can show them the landing page in their language. We can send them an email requesting a TripAdvisor review in their own language, or welcome them back in their own language, which is obviously a great way to sort of be hospitable. Our platform is designed to help you educate, reward, and engage you with your customers, gather feedback through surveys which are built into the platform. So if you want to understand how people feel about your brand, improve operational efficiencies in terms of, if you're getting notices saying, we love the place, everything was great, except for, the toilets could be cleaner, then obviously you can ask your staff to clean the toilets every half an hour as opposed to every hour that you might be doing. And all this is designed to get to understand your customers, which helps you boost loyalty, increase their lifetime value, increase return visits, increase online spend, increase your online reputation through the reviews that we help boost, and we do that. So just to reiterate, this is the journey. So we call it the access journey. How does the customers get onto the internet? So on the first visit, they are presented with a landing page where they have to register. The next page would be your compliance page. What's happening in the background is we're collecting a bunch of information: where they visited, when they visited, who they are, age, gender, how often they've been there, when was the last time they were there, have you sent them any marketing campaigns, birthday campaigns, for example. You might have a TripAdvisor campaign asking people to leave you reviews. It might be, book a table reservation in our restaurant. We can show you that they received the email, they clicked on it, they booked the table, and look, they've come back, and we can show that the date and the time that they walked in the door. We are collecting their social interests. So through their social media accounts, Facebook, if they've made it public and it's not private, then that information can also filter through. So you can understand what their social interests, what's their favorite sports team, what's their favorite food or drink. And all that helps you sort of understand your customers and offer a better experience. And it's all in the background. That's the key here, is that it just happens in the background. It's, you're not asking people to fill in forms or, partake in a survey or anything. They're just logging onto the Wi-Fi, and they, again, it's your customers, it's your space, and essentially they're interested. They want, the data is there to show that they actually do want you to engage with them. So just a couple of use cases. We've got Connect Compliance. Again, that's only seen the first time. The second time they come back, so on the first time, you might say the next screen there is sign up to our loyalty program. on their return visit, it might just be something simple like, welcome back, please have a glass of wine on us. At the same time, you can automate an email. So you might be promoting another business in the area. You might be promoting South African wines or Vinpro, or the specific wine route that they're on. So you can be popping off an email automated that's already been set up. Again, this can be done in their own language. So another one, cross-channel. So if you have an online store, once the person's left, they're back in their hometown, they would receive an automated email thanking them for visiting, again in their home language, and directing them to purchase a bottle of wine on your online store. Monetization, you've essentially got a digital billboard. So again, for the 10 seconds as they're logging into the internet, you might have a local industry or a tourist attraction that's also on the route that would literally pay you to put their branding on that page. And there's a lot of businesses who are doing that successfully. So you've essentially got advertising real estate, and you can monetize that space. You can promote your own events or other events that promote the whole region. Again, this is all just as they're logging into the Wi-Fi. You can trigger off an email to go in, as I discussed earlier. Thank you for visiting. Please will you leave us a review on TripAdvisor. So that can be set to go off automatically, on a person's first visit. If they're tourists, where that the likelihood is they're probably only going to ever visit you once. So you would, if the person speaks these languages on their first visit, ask them to leave us a TripAdvisor 4 hours after they've left the state. Send them a TripAdvisor review request. However, if the person is local, maybe do it on their second or third visit. So, you're getting your regulars who are more inclined to give you a better review. You can send them a request. Surveys, again, we've discussed this, is extremely important. It's like having your own mystery diner in your venue. So as they're logging in, a quick survey, 2 or 3 questions, smiley faces, stars, or how do you rate us out of 5? And you'll be amazed at the results that we get in terms of how many people actually opt in to take these surveys. In terms of analytics, Purple is arguably the leading platform in terms of the amount of data that it can provide you with. There are literally billions of metrics and data points that it captures for you and can deliver back to you when you start adding in filters. So Philip, I know Philip's got his favorite one is, we can tell you how many Dutch-speaking females were in your venue who like Sauvignon Blanc on a specific day, and whether it was raining on that day, and whether, how old she was, etc. So you have the ability to really filter down and build, segment the amount of information and your audiences so that you know how to re-engage people. So for example, we can tell you how many people are preferring Facebook to Instagram and what age they are. So therefore, you know where to allocate your digital online budgets, and your marketing team can have access to this as well, so that they know. So this is just an example, and this is what the platform would look like. So you can drill down to a specific customer. You can see exactly who they are, when they were there, if they visited more than one venue along the route. The first time they visited one, the second time, and you can give access to this platform from different levels. So in other words, if you were only needed, or it was decided that only each state only knows what's happening on their specific access, then that's what they'll see. Whereas, let's say the route itself, the route managers or the people tasked with promoting the individual wine routes, they could then view things from a different perspective. You might want to allow everybody to view from a level up and know what's happening before and after they've come through your estate. But you might say, well, I want to allow them to see where they've been and what they're doing, but I don't necessarily want people to see the personal identifiable information on my customers, in which case that can be blocked out automatically. So an individual estate only sees their personal customers' information, but they know the anonymous data. In other words, how often a person has visited through the route and where they've been before, etc., without actually having the ownership of the data itself, the customer's data record, the CRM record itself. So this is one of the most valuable parts of the platform. It really has a number of ways for you to gather feedback from your customers and understand how they feel about your brand. So you can imagine that anybody, whether it be a local or a tourist, if they want to go on a wine route in South Africa, or they're visiting the country, or even if they're locals, they may never have been on a wine tasting, they're going to jump on Google. They're going to Google, top wine routes in Cape Town or in the Cape, or they might ask for what is the best routes, etc. And based on the Google ranking and the scores that they're getting, that they're seeing, that's where they're going to go. It's as simple as that. That is the way it works. So our platform allows you to, this is a net promoter score. So in other words, how likely are you to recommend us to your friends? It allows you to do this internally. So you're asking these questions automatically, you're getting this feedback automatically from your customers, and it's before it goes online. So if they're giving you a negative score, you can intercept that, rectify the situation, reach out to those customers. You know who they are, when they were there, what the problem was, and you have the ability to reach out to them and fix the problem before they do damage your reputation online. We also do one called this is a micro survey. So it's what the initial screenshots that we showed at the beginning, smiley faces, stars, and this is actually a real example of a real survey that went out. And the interesting fact here is the amount of people, so you have the ability to opt out of a survey, and the amount of people who actually chose to do the survey. And it's quick and unintrusive. It's user-friendly, a couple of smiley faces, how do you feel about this? Or out of 5, what would you think about that? And you can use these for anything. I mean, we've got venues, for example, during the World Cup, on the day a person logs in, who do you think is going to win today's match? Just for fun, that kind of thing. So you can use them for improving operational efficiencies. We've got venues who, as part of their staff training or the ongoing training with their staff, on a Monday morning, they would open up these results and they would say, right, so there's the 4 questions, what do you think of the cleanliness of the venue? What did you think of the friendliness of the staff? Or whatever the case may be. And based on those scores, if you suddenly see that over a period of time, you're starting to get more, 3 and 2 stars on a couple of questions, then you know that, what, we need to do something about that. I see that there's a trend happening and we're starting to drop the ball in this space. So it's used for, encouraging staff to do better, understanding what they are. And the best thing is that this is from the horse's mouth. So there's no way that somebody can, filter out that negative sentiment, where you might not always get the truth on the ground because people are scared that it's going to make them look bad, or they'd rather not say when something negative happened. This is from your customers in real time while they're there. They will, they'll tell you the truth, and you can then look at it and use that information to improve things. This is a great one, especially for this project. So we have the ability, we call it a cross-pollination report. And there's actually another box that opens up here on the side where we can click on any venue that's partaking in this project, and it will tell us how many customers who visited that venue first went on to other venues within the group, and vice versa. So you can then, if the goal here is to promote the whole region and the whole route as a whole, you can see that, well, people come to there and then they've gone on to there, and you might see that there might be somebody dropping the ball here, or there might be a valid reason for it, but there might be a case of when people visit this wine farm, they never go on to anywhere else, and that could be because it's the last wine farm on the route, so obviously they're not. But at least you understand, how come people are going to that one and they're not going on to any other venues in this project, in the group, which can be very powerful. Just to stamp this home, compliant with POPI, with GDPR, all the data is hosted securely in Google Cloud. It's ISO accredited, so you've got no issues there whatsoever. We are software as a service. As part of that service, it's important that you achieve goals, and this is a success. In actual fact, I think we would be looking at doing a case study on this whole, with Purple, with our partners Purple out of the UK, a case study on this actual project, because it's just such an exciting opportunity to demonstrate what we are capable of doing. So you'll have all the support needed to ensure that individual estates achieve their goals, individual wine routes achieve their goals, and essentially South African, the whole Cape Winelands achieve whatever their goals might be, as well as Vinpro, obviously. So we ensure that those goals are achieved, that you maximize your success through the platform. What are your objectives from each level, as I said, from Vinpro's level all the way down to individual estates levels? What do we need to achieve those objectives, whether it be increased average spend, whether it be increased online spend on your e-commerce stores, or increase your TripAdvisor reviews, for example. What objectives are they? How do we achieve them? What do we have to do on the platform in terms of automations to set it all up? What does that look like? If we increase spend, what does that mean in real rands and cents? And then we will continuously, on a quarterly basis, review, tweak, so that we ensure that at the end of it all, we're all happy and we've seen value. And that's the end, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, I'm going to look at the questions now. Let's see. Oops. Sorry, I'm looking for them. Right. The first question: can information collected automatically populate to mailing lists and MailChimp account? Yes, we had that yesterday. That is a yes. It can absolutely do that. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Adam or Philip.
No, that's fine. That's
right. Question: the difference between an authenticated and unauthenticated visitor. I mean, I could explain it because I do know, but I'll let Adam or Philip handle that.
Okay, so actually, that's really the crux of what the difference is, let's say, in value that Vinpro are after, and let's say what the states are after. So unauthenticated means that the person has not logged into the Wi-Fi, and we don't know who they are. So they have not authenticated using either Facebook or the registration form, etc. So we have the ability, and this is why we require a specific type of hardware. We integrate with most access points, and everything that I showed you in the presentation today works on pretty much most of your enterprise-grade access points, whether it be Unify or Micritic or TP-Link, or whatever you may have. The unauthenticated data is what Vinpro is after, and that's the ability to count people regardless of whether they're logging into the Wi-Fi. So that is the unauthenticated data, is the people that don't log in. They might. So we, as Karen explained, we basically have the ability to track the signal on a person's phone.
Okay, and then the next question is, does it integrate with our email CRM? Okay, so that answer is a yes. Well, which ones are compliant? I mean, is there...
Okay, so, sorry, Karen, let me just answer as well. So it's important to understand that because we take data privacy so seriously, we cannot import data into the platform, because the reason for that is that we cannot verify that they have opted in. I don't know that list that they have actually opted in. There's too much risk for us to be able to communicate with people who we cannot verify that for. So you can't input data in, but you can take that database and export it out into pretty much any platform.
Okay. And the next part of that question is the app for both desktop and mobile, wherever there's Wi-Fi and you're connecting. Is that?
Yeah, exactly. So desktop and mobile, laptops, anywhere a mobile device needs to connect. And so it's actually an interesting one, because I will just reiterate this again, it's the reason why it's one of the reasons why we can't say we can be 100% accurate when counting, because the person might have a tablet and a cell phone, and because that might be one person with two signals coming from it, there is a slight discrepancy, and that's why we say it's pretty much up to about 78% accuracy that we can offer, because they might have more than one device.
Yeah. And the next comment is, some people might not want to share personal social accounts with a third-party app. Absolutely, and if they don't want to, they won't register with their social media account. So, and they can register with the email, or they can choose not to. They can still get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, essentially, it's their choice, and
Yeah.
that's the great thing about this. You're not forcing anybody to do anything. So if they don't want to share information, they just untick that box. They still use the Wi-Fi. You still know that the person was there. You can still promote, your events and promotions with them, but we just don't re-engage them after the fact. We don't, they're opting out of marketing. It's as simple as that, and people are used to that.
Yeah.
So fully compliant. Yeah.
Perfect. And the last question, it says, so our email sent via Purple, does it have its own automated workflow for emails, say on birthday and after their visit? I know we had a conversation about this yesterday. So maybe, Adam, just give the difference between what is automated and what you assist with on your side and what each farm would have to generate.
Yeah. Okay, great. So essentially, we can automate engagement based on all sorts of things. So in other words, if a person is French, and it's hot outside and it's their first visit and they are over 18, do this. If they are German, do that. If it's raining, do something else. If they're under 18, don't send them anything, or send them to the Disney Channel on their phone, as opposed to your landing page, which is promoting alcohol. So you have the full ability to promote or automate engagement. You can set this all up in advance. So essentially, you can have your whole year's marketing campaigns all plotted and planned out, created, and then you push play, and leading up to Valentine's Day, 2 weeks before, start doing this, stop that campaign on Valentine's Day, launch the next one. If the person is a first-time visitor, ask them to follow us on Instagram. If it's their 5th visit, show them a survey. And this could be individual visits to individual states, or on their first visit, show them this and send them an email promoting the rest of the route. When they get to the 5th venue on the route, pop up a survey and ask them, what the experience has been like. And that information can then be shared with all the relevant stakeholders. And that is all planned, and that is part of what we would call the success plan. And there will be that strategy session done with all the states and Vinpro and wineries, to determine what are these objectives that you guys have got. We know what Vinpros are, and that's easy. We're just going to be telling them how many people are coming and going through the states and how often they do that. But what are your individual? And this is where the added value comes in. What is your objectives? What is it that you guys need personally for you? Each estate might have something slightly different that they want to do. So yeah, we set up all those automations with you. We give you full onboarding and training. What we don't do is the day-to-day. So in other words, we have the ability to automate messages to go off as a person engages with that venue. Or we can say, if it's a person's birthday, a month or a day or a week leading up to that person's birthday, pop them off this email wishing them a happy birthday, and maybe a gift, or a voucher, or invite them back to enjoy a meal, or whatever the case may be, which is obviously always good. So you have that ability to set up those automations. The day-to-day stuff, so in other words, if suddenly you had a big booking that fell through and you want to fill up the space, or it's a beautiful day and you suddenly think, well, you know what, let's do a champagne brunch on a Sunday that you hadn't thought about before and nobody knows about, you have the ability to go on there in real time and send out an email to your whole database yourself. So your marketing people, whoever you've allocated to do that, if you can send out a MailChimp email, or if you can make a post on Facebook, that's how easy it is. You'll be able to go onto the platform in your own time, whenever you want, and do whatever you want. So that's on the day-to-day basis. So we don't handle that side of it. We help you set up all the automations so that you've got the ongoing objectives are being met.
Okay, great. So, and obviously we will, there will be group sessions set up like this one for training. And then obviously Flo will contact you all individually with regards to actually activating the software. So there's no other questions. I'm going to send out the recording of this, because we've obviously, some people weren't able to join yesterday or today. And then I'm also going to send out the link. Well, Adam has posted it on this chat, but I'll resend it on email so that you can get those forms completed. It's literally 2-3 minutes of your time to do that. So thank you all for joining us today. If there's any questions, you've all got my email. And yeah, we'll assist where we can. And we look forward to getting this up and running. Thank you, Adam and Philip, for your time.